Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Ibhuku. I'm Ndombi. It feels weird to always introduce myself, but whatever. To anybody new, my name is Ndombi and this is my booktube channel, Ibhuku. Yeah, I hope everybody is okay and doing well and in good health. These COVIDian times that we're living through are not the easiest to kind of deal with. I think the pandemic has kind of impacted all of us in one way or another. So I really do hope that you guys are in good health. I really do hope that you're staying at home, you're practicing, social distancing and self-quarantining if you have to self-quarantine. But we kind of all have to play our part, social distance, stay at home, safe at home, if anything. And yeah, I hope you guys are well, and I hope that being at home is shedding a new light in how life can be and how life will probably have to reset after all of this. So yeah, sending you light, love, and lots of books to read. I wish I could send you lots of books to read. But basically, I'm just sharing some joy and some love and some positivity during these weird and uncertain times that we're all going through. So today, I'll be sharing a book review with you guys. And the book that I will be reviewing and chatting about is Becoming by Michelle Obama, former First Lady of the United States of America. A lot of people know about this book. A lot of people have read this book. A lot of people are wanting to still read this book. So it's probably on a lot of people's TBR lists. Yeah, and probably there are a few people still reading this book. I was a bit late to the party. I've had this book for a while now. I've had it for a while, but I got to reading it quite late. And what I did is I audiobooked and I obviously read the physical copy of the book as well where I could. But it was such a fun read. It was a great read to kind of get lost in. Michelle is like everybody's favorite former first lady. It's kind of a sensational statement, but yeah, she's a great human being, and I think a lot of people really do admire her. So the book has about 426 pages. It is quite long, but it is a great read and well worth it. It kind of takes place in 3 parts, and that is becoming me, becoming us, and becoming more, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, she takes you through her childhood, her upbringing. She takes you through how she was as a young lady, studying and getting her first job and having to prove herself. She talks a lot about obviously meeting Barack Obama, and how their relationship started, the challenges that they faced in just relating to each other. I really enjoyed reading about that as well, because you kind of see power couples from afar, and you always assume that everything is good and peachy and amazing and oh wow, look at them, I want to be them and whatever. But you really get a glimpse into who they are, how they relate to each other, the difficulties that they may have in their relationship. So that was very interesting for me. And obviously, the change in their life when they had to now step into the White House. They had to step into a different realm that they were never really exposed to, and bringing who they are into that space really was quite impactful for me, and quite bold and inspiring, in that whichever room you kind of occupy and whichever space you're presented with, the opportunities that you have also deserve a piece of you. They deserve a piece of who you are and your influence and your value. They brought a different perspective to politics and US politics, and they brought a different perspective to what it is and what it means to be in the White House. to be leaders of that caliber and to really, take the opportunity to impact communities, to impact the way things are run. It was their job to a certain extent. It was a job that they had to do. But I think the choices that you make in that space are really, really telling. So a lot of ground was covered re the presidential campaign in 2008 and basically how that impacted their lives, how it kind of changed how they'd function, it changed how they'd spend time with family, it changed where they went and how long they could be there for, purely because Barack was always needed, I suppose. He always had to be on the ground when it came to kind of directing the campaign and being there for whatever it is they needed him for. So yeah, that was quite interesting to really know more about and how that started impacting their lives and shape-shifting their lives to accommodate that presidential run. And that she actually didn't think he'd win, and he did. So I think it kind of came as a surprise, but obviously it's something that they had prepared for months on end, for years on end. So I think when it did eventually happen, it was a surprise, it was a shock, but it was a good shock. It was, I suppose, a good surprise because a lot of sacrifice had gone into the work behind the campaign itself. So 2008, yes, was a very big year. The one other story that she shared that I really enjoyed reading, and I'm glad that she shared those pieces of information in the book, is how they related with each other as a couple during the political elections and while they were in the White House and all of that, because at the end of the day, you're still together as a couple. So I really liked hearing those bits and pieces about how things were actually between her and her husband. Like there's a part where she talks about stealing a date, and a simple date actually turned out to be a huge thing in the White House. Like they couldn't just like leave the White House and go to a restaurant that they love, because it meant a huge change in the security detail. Like everything needed to change in that environment to accommodate them being there, which is things you don't really think about too much. And like she was talking about how even going to that restaurant was something special for them, but she couldn't help but think about all of the other people's special evenings they would actually kind of destroy by being there, because that meant the restaurant had to be cleared out, or the staff had to be vetted, or whatever it meant, but them going on a date was not as simple as that, and a lot had changed. That whatever it is that they wanted to do had to be vetted before it was done. The one thing I love about, this book as well, is that it really reveals how Michelle Obama is her own woman. She is incredible, right? And there's no doubt about that. I had no doubt in my mind that she is the powerhouse that she is, because she was always so motivated, was always so disciplined, was always so hardworking, was always so purposeful and intentional in the things that she did. Actually getting a sense of who she is, who she was, how she was raised, her family, her schooling, kind of like getting a view of that really cements who she is, really cements why she is the person that she is. And it's such an incredible story to be able to hear about. It is incredible. There's a part in the book where Michelle talks about their trip to see the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. And I actually didn't realize how huge this was until after I researched this part of the story. But essentially, this is about like a controversial hug between Michelle and the Queen. It's even called like the royal faux pas. I was just like, what's the actual? But basically, when you meet the Queen, you're actually not allowed to hug her. You know, like you can't be like, hey girl, how are you doing? But yeah, like don't hug the Queen, you know, unless she instigates the hug or whatever. But, and when I remember when I saw the video of this controversial hug, this royal faux pas, it didn't even seem like a full-on heavy-headed hug. You know, it was just kind of like a, you know, arm around each other between Michelle and the Queen herself. And I was just like, what was the fuss all about? But yeah, a lot of people found that, you know, Michelle Obama should not have hugged the Queen. Like, nobody does that. That is blasphemy and all of that. And but when you actually check out the, well, when I checked out the video of this occurrence, it actually looked like the Queen also reciprocated a bit. Like, it wasn't a gesture of, why the hell are you touching me? It didn't look like that at all. So yeah, I was pretty surprised by that. It looked like a very friendly and non-invasive interaction between them two. But like I said, I didn't know about this until after I read the book. So yeah, it did not make sense to me why everybody was so touched by it. But yeah, I found that to be a very interesting thing that happened, I suppose, to Michelle. And yeah, the royal faux pas. Funny things. So the other thing that stood out for me in this book is that Michelle Obama had, well, she basically conceived her daughters through IVF, which was, I mean, a huge platform for like infertility awareness through the book. And, you know, a lot of women don't really talk about their challenges with conceiving children, but I think this book kind of made it, or kind of brought the conversation to the fore for some women, for most women as well. So yeah, I think that kind of, I mean, I didn't know about that. You know, it's a very personal and intimate piece of info to kind of share and put in a book. But I think it was very poignant and vital that something like that be shared and something like that be highlighted, because a lot of women kind of go through those challenges in terms of just highlighting and sharing the awareness around infertility and issues that women, couples, parents are going through and have been through, was pretty amazing. Cool, so that's it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share your comments, your likes, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit that notifications bell so that you are first in line for all my videos that I share. And yeah, I hope you will tune in again. Cheers.